Learn more about the albums you love with Dissect, a music analysis podcast hosted by me, Cole Kushna, a lifelong musician and composer. Each season of Dissect dives deep into a single album, forensically dissecting the music, lyrics, and meaning of one song per episode. Our newest season is covering Tyler the Creator's Igor, a beautifully honest album in which Tyler explores love, communication, masculinity, and truth. Listen to Dissect today only on Spotify, because great art deserves more than a swipe.
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see them coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. All right, it's official. I think I've discovered the ultimate coupling of all time. Like any good relationship, they really balance each other out. One is super sweet, and the other, well, they can be a little nutty sometimes. It is, of course, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of peanut butter and chocolate. So perfect, some would call it true love. Find Reese's now at a store near you. It's an action-packed day here on Bachelor Party. I'm Juliet Litman. I'm here with Callie Curry. Callie, big news. Did you hear? There's so much big news. Joe and Serena got married. Dean and Kaylin got engaged. Maddie Pruitt is off the market, people. And Kevin and Astrid finally got married. There's just so much going on. Anything else happening in your world right now?
What are you most excited about out of that rundown?
Excited? I don't feel excitement about any of these. I would say I'm most surprised by Serena and Joe. I am really surprised that they are like still so happily together. Even more surprised that they eloped at City Hall here in New York. I was wondering if that was for green card purposes. Like perhaps she needs to stay in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, that would make total sense. I do think they were going to get married regardless. Like they seem very, very happy. So I feel like it was kind of like for ease of our lives, we probably should just do this.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes things a lot easier. She doesn't have to worry about like employment or whatever. But they also just seem really into each other. That led me to look at their engagement party photos from the summer.
Love
So
them.
I was surprised by that. Yeah, she's great. I guess that like she makes me like him more, even though I was very anti.
Yeah. Were you mostly anti because he's just too regular? Because that makes me like him more.
It's not that he's just so regular. It's just that he's like this sort of like down home, like Midwestern guy. Like I'm just here, like just doing my shtick. I don't know. Like I like a regular, normal guy too. Like, but I just felt like he was like playing into like being hokey.
Well, he has to because he's standing next to people that look like Alex from this season's Bachelor.
I know, but
like, what would you do if that's who you're standing next to? Like, you're going to be like, well, I'm not that, but I got a good personality. I have good morals. My family loves me. That's what I got. That's what I'm bringing to you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm not into him, but I guess I'm happy for them. What were you most excited about?
I don't think anyone's going to agree with me, but I'm happy for Kaylin and Dean.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm really happy for them too. They seem to like really found each other.
I feel like people hate them.
Do they? I mean, I guess like they're kind of annoying. They're like coy, but I don't know. Like they're just a couple clearly in their own world. And I guess like they make each other happy. So it doesn't seem like it's like a dangerous relationship. So I support them.
Yeah, I like that they like just are doing things their way. Definitely not traditional Bachelor couple at all.
Yeah. Yeah. They like do their own SpawnCon like in a way that like it just makes it seem like it facilitates the lifestyle they want. So like that's nice. Also, I've been to Kauai where they got engaged. Kauai is amazing. So I support that.
Least excited about Maddie's wedding, but most interesting.
So a few things about Maddie's wedding. First of all, her veil had it embroidered into it, worth the wait. I just gotta say, how did she know? I assume they hadn't had sex yet. So how did she know if it was worth the wait?
Yeah, no, that was one of the, I think, initial questions everyone had because she took the picture at their wedding. So
Yeah.
unless they took a little 5-minute break, because I would assume it'd be 5 minutes if you're waiting for that long between photos and ceremony. Like, I'm like, you don't know yet. Also, you had to get that made. So you got that made before you even know. And I just don't know if you like, do you need to talk about your virginity on your wedding dress? You know
It's
what I
so
mean?
tacky. I think it's weird. It's also like, just like, then here we are talking about it, which like she made a fair game, but like, I just think it's really weird and like uncomfortable, like with your family and like just with anyone. Like, I don't know. I'm not really looking for people to be like talking about my sex life. That's one of the reasons I wouldn't go on reality TV.
I guess. It's just really weird. It's all weird.
Yeah.
I will say that I think she looks
Was a
really
pretty
pretty in her
wedding.
dress.
Yeah.
The wedding was really pretty. It looked like a lot of people.
Yeah. Also, the florals were fucking expensive. You can tell. That's the way you can really tell who's rich and who's not,
Well-
how much they spend on florals. And that was beautiful, like altar.
Unlimited budget. Maybe that was what was worth the wait. Worth the wait to get a
billion.
billionaire.
To be a billionaire.
Yeah.
She had a lot of people from her season there. Victoria Fuller, Kelly, who is once again dating Peter. I think she had Hannah Ann. There was a lot of gals from Peter's season there, which I was surprised by. I didn't really think of her as like being friends with all of them, but I guess she is, which is nice.
Yeah. She either is or they're all like, yeah, of course we want to go. If I was invited, I would have gone.
Sure. Or they're like, yeah, it's a good opportunity to take pictures too. So it is
Probably
though.
a nice wedding. Probably good food.
Biggest surprise was how her father has gone gray over the last few years. He's finally looking his age.
It's not where
He
I
looked
thought you
so
were
young
going.
before.
I didn't see any pictures from the reception. Did you?
No, I think they didn't sell those to people. They're probably selling them elsewhere. So we have to wait until the deal is done.
I can't imagine they sold them. I'm sure they just gave them.
No way. You think they sold them to people for sure?
No way.
Oh my God. We're going to find out. I think absolutely that they sell them.
I think absolutely people's not paying for that.
I disagree. Here we are talking about it. Money well spent.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Also, they don't need it.
That's true. They don't.
I was gonna say, then again, she has an Amazon storefront where she gets a percentage of sales and stuff. So like,
yeah, they don't do shit for free. Yeah.
I still don't think people would pay for it, but I would like to know the answer to that.
We'll find out. I'm going to find out. Kevin and Astrid finally got married in Miami. Rachel went. Seemed like it was nice. They're a nice couple. I'm happy for them. I think it's really sweet when couples who get married and have a kid during the pandemic are then able to do like have their wedding and have their kid attend. I went to a wedding that was like that and it was really nice and just like a full family affair. Shout out to Sarah and Aaron.
Shout out to me because my daughter was also in my wedding, but we weren't even engaged. We just had a kid before.
I know, but I think that's like, isn't it nice that your daughter was there? Like, it's kind of cute. It's like sweet.
Yeah, I like having the pictures.
And also, like, she'll be able to hold that over her brother for her whole life. I was there, you weren't.
I actually told that to her the other day to make her feel good about something.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's a nice thing. It's like really celebrating family. Also, I feel like if you still want to have the wedding, even though you have your child, it's like a good sign too. So you're starting on a great foot. Starting on a great
very
foot.
True.
So
I agree with that. If you get a year in with a child and you're still like, yeah, I think I can marry this person. Great sign.
Astrid and Kevin, congrats. Let's move on to what was happening on Bachelor Paradise this week. Headlining story. I think it's got to be the love triangle between Eliza, Rodney, and Justin, because some of the things that happened between Eliza and Rodney really set the stage for other things that happened, which is namely this debate over should you want the person you are like linked up with to go on a date with someone else, or should you throw a tantrum and ask them not to, or is there a third option? Because Eliza felt that Rodney was not passionate enough.
Eliza and Kate, by the way. It was 2 in 1 episode.
Yes, I know. But we'll come back to Kate and Logan, because like Eliza and Rodney, everyone just thought they were like getting married. They're just like so coupled up, so in love.
Mhm.
And I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because I was like, am I losing my mind? Did Rodney tell Eliza not to go on the date?
I mean, I don't know how you want me to answer or how I'm supposed to answer that question, but my answer
Just
is
answer
I
it
think
however you want.
this is how I'm answering it. I think Rodney handled the situation as perfect as you can.
I agree. And also he did say, I don't want you to go. He didn't say, I don't want you to go, period. He said, I don't want you to go, but, which, okay, so maybe she's upset about that, but like she really was overreacting. Like he said, I don't want you to go.
I think she wanted to go. That's the root of it all because he said.
So you're blaming Eliza for this situation.
I'm not blaming her. I'm saying I think that she saw Justin. We both know how incredibly good looking
He's handsome.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like from not knowing him, which Eliza probably knows him a little bit better than us, but not much.
No, they didn't overlap on the beach.
Yeah. So based on what we know about Justin, I'm probably going to take a date with him too. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm taking the date. And I think she wanted to go. And the only chance of her not going is if Rodney was very like, don't go. I don't want you to go. If you go, I'm leaving. But even then, I think if Rodney did that, Eliza would probably be like, ew.
Yeah, I better say it's unwinnable for Rodney.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what you wanted from him. And I can completely understand not wanting to hurt Rodney's feelings. So instead of just being like, I wanted to just see, I went on the date and I think I might like him more. Now she has an excuse.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll give her is that Kate also doing it in the same episode. I'm like, okay, maybe this is like a thing. But I think Rodney handled it better than Logan. And I understand what Logan was saying too. Like, I'm not mad at Logan.
I like when someone called Logan low energy. I was like, remember when Donald Trump called Jeb low energy? I was just like, not the kind of company I want to be keeping.
No, he is low energy though. But like Rodney said, listen, I really like you. We have a connection. I don't want you to go. But like, you have to make your own decision. Yeah, because she's an adult. Like, I really was so confused at what was wanted. And I also was like, Rodney questioning himself was like, oh, I messed up. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did what everyone would want you to do.
I was just very confused when she was like, but you didn't tell me not to go, because he did. He said several times, I don't want you to go. He didn't like stonewall her. He didn't cry. He didn't make a big deal out of it, but he actually was direct. So then when he was like beating himself up, I was just sort of felt bad for him. But I agree with you. He threw a tantrum. That's also like, well, what are you trying to do? Like control me? Or it's just like really unappealing. I mean, bad all around.
I just feel like they were wanting toxic masculinity and Rodney was not giving it.
Yeah, totally. That's a great way of putting it. And I mean, also she seemed excited. I think she was like lying to herself, like, or not like lying, but like, I don't think she was totally in line with her emotions when she was talking about how if Rodney had told her not to go, like it wouldn't have been a thing. And she would have just told Justin no, like, cause she did seem excited by that conversation, to your point.
She was excited when he walked down the stairs. She sat up, fixed her hair. And then when he called her over, she was giddy that he wanted her. Giddy. By the way, I would have been giddy too. I'm not mad at her for it. I'm just saying, like, come on now. Let's not pretend like that conversation with Justin before he asked you to go on the date, you weren't 1,000,000% into it. You were into it. Yeah. You were excited about it. You really liked that he came to the beach just for you. No one's blaming you for that. And I agree with you that maybe she didn't want to feel that way or think that way. So she was saying what she wanted to think she felt, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I don't think she actually did.
Yeah. I guess I'm glad she went because I feel like this is the most we've ever gotten to know Justin. Like this was like the most actual Justin talking time we've ever seen. He seems like a fun guy. Genevieve insulting his personality seems uncalled for. I'm sorry, Genevieve. Take that back.
My friend who's catching up right now and she watched last night's episode last night. Yeah.
She watched episode 1. She watched Monday's episode.
Yeah. I was like, I'm such a Justin fan. I'm so happy he's getting a second chance. And she didn't watch him on the season. So just based off his first performance, she was very much like, what? Why? And I'm like, oh, that really sucks. For someone who like has no context at all, his first time on the beach wasn't great.
No, he was like kind of like a flip-flopper, and his and Genevieve's relationship was like antagonistic. I mean, I'm going to just spew some of my own toxic masculinity. I just feel like Genevieve doesn't have healthy relationships with men. I feel like she's gets into these like emotional fights. Like she did this with Justin, and then she did it again with Aaron. And the way Aaron called her out too, like she talks about Justin a lot, and she talks so much that it leads to these weird emotional conversations where like she's really worked up, and then I guess Aaron got worked up too. But I don't know. I think Genevieve
Aaron got annoyed.
He did. We'll come back to Aaron. I need to talk through my thoughts on him. I'm really still processing. Another really funny aspect of Justin and Eliza's date was when they came back and Justin was like, yeah, I kissed her under the fireworks. And Andrew and Michael were like, under the fireworks? Whoa. Like that was some kind of like big deal or like meant something. Fireworks make out. It's like, wow. Okay.
I mean, I do think that like the moment of it all could be like, you know, it's kind of like, oh God, like that's not good. I wouldn't want my person to be kissing underneath fireworks. I'd way rather it happen after you held an egg between your butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was gross. I don't know. I just think that Eliza, well, who do you think she's going to pick? I think she picks Rodney in the end.
I think she picks Justin.
I loved Andrew's quote. I loved when Andrew was like,
best thing he said all season.
I absolutely loved it. He was just like, because he loves Justin. And so the way that he was just so pro Rodney for Eliza as a boyfriend, you're just like, oh, she needs to pick Rodney. I bet she does, because everyone around the beach loves him so much. I just feel like such a closed world. You get sucked into that.
Yeah, I think Andrew saying it holds the most weight because he's like, listen, I like them both. I obviously like Justin more, but like, let's be real here. You have no future with Justin.
Nobody has a future with Justin, I think was the point. Yeah. He's just not there yet.
By the way, nobody has a future with Andrew either. And I think that's why he can identify it. He's like, we are here for fun. It's been great. I'd love him on the beach, but you can't do that to Rodney because I think he actually does want to settle down with someone. But I do think she picks Justin because the last conversation Rodney and Eliza had, Eliza was just not into it after the date. Her hug with him
Rodney
seemed really weird. Yeah. She was blaming everything on him. She wasn't really like hearing him out and was kind of just like, ugh. And then 2 seconds later, she was making out with Justin. Who knows if that's editing, but that's how it looked to us.
Eliza's so hot. I was just like distracted. I was just like, wow, this is a beautiful woman. So like just gorgeous.
She's super pretty. Also, she's smart. She seems kind. Like she seems like a overall
a real catch.
A top tier catch. I can understand why they're both fighting over
tier
her.
One.
Yeah, tier 1. Yeah, I can understand why they're both fighting over her, but I don't know. I'd be shocked if she chose Rodney.
Well, I hope we find out next week. I think it's only one episode next week. Can we talk about Andrew for a minute? So this was kind of Andrew's time to shine, not as like a paradise heartthrob, but not only did he have the great quote about Rodney, he then was like leading the like who everyone is in their high school at the bonfire, which was pretty funny. But I also thought he's a high school football coach, so I'm sure he like thinks of things in like the paradigm of high school. But I also was just like showing his age a little bit here. I think not like because he's like close to high school, but just sort of like an immature way of thinking about things. But it was quite entertaining. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. But the bonfire in general was so weird. Like they all had to like sit on a towel with the person they're linked up with, and then Rodney had to sit alone. I was just like, this is cruel. I mean, I guess it's a helpful visual of where we are.
Yeah, they purposely do that shit.
Yeah, of course they do. But it was ridiculous. I liked the bonfire.
I really liked who he picked for stuff, and
I agreed with all of it.
Yeah, when he said captain of the cheerleading team, I was like, he's gotta pick Shanae.
Yeah,
and he picked Shanae. Also, the friend that I was referencing earlier, who was just catching up on this season, she really likes Shanae and hates that people are mean to her. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're missing a lot of context there. Like, this isn't like Shanae's first rodeo. And she's like, based on what I see, Shanae calls it like it is, and everyone's a bitch to her. And I'm like,
yeah, everyone likes her now.
I mean, she had a rough episode. Not this week.
Did she?
Not
Yeah,
this
last week. Last week. But this
Yeah.
week was fine. Although her and Kate, let's talk about Kate and Logan. Her and Kate seemed totally fine. They were like hanging out together a lot of this episode. I saw them just like, so they're over it. They just moved on.
I mean, based on what we've seen so far, Kate seems to just
rolls
roll
with
it all.
So Hayden asked her out on the date. Even though she'd heard mixed reviews, she says yes because Logan, similar to Rodney, does not like fight for her. I just can't get a read on Logan. I've never been so unsure of like a reality character. Like, and I guess they said he's like a hippie, like stoner vibes. I really didn't get that from him at first, but I'm so confused by him.
I get it from him. I really get surfer.
Surfer, I don't know. I feel like his surfers are a slightly different vibe, but like stoner,
surfs, but
more like jam band, like Fish concert type of guy.
This is my question.
Okay.
They're not smoking weed.
I know. Although he does seem high sometimes.
I get if you're a stoner, like I can say that I lightly was at one point in my life. But when I didn't smoke, I wasn't still high. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
yeah.
What is his excuse for these past 4 weeks where we have no idea what he's thinking? Like, even how he I think Kate said it like 5 times in this episode. He's asleep at the wheel. He's asleep at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just with you, Kate. That's his overall personality.
I know. That's who he is.
So what did you expect? Yeah.
Like, does he ever yell? Does he raise his voice? Like, does he get angry? I haven't seen a lot of emotions out of him.
No. The only thing we've seen is him tell Kate how much he likes her, which also I'm like, if you're concerned about him being asleep at the wheel, which is what we've seen the entire season from him, like he was the same way when Shanae was going back and forth with 2 guys. He was kind of just like, all right, whatever. Like we get nothing from him. That proves our point even more to last week when we were like, they did not get to know each other. They just randomly started saying they liked each other so much.
I know. And then the date with Hayden was so horrible that she missed him. Hayden does seem like an all-time just like asshole. Yeah. I was really, really glad that people thought 6 figures on his dog was too much. Cause I was like, thank God other people think that too. I wouldn't be the only one.
I don't think that 6 figures on your dog is too much as like an overall cost. If like throughout a 20-year life of a dog, it's probably around what you're going to have to spend eventually between food, vet, whatever, leashes, like beds, all of that, whatever. I think it's insane to spend that amount for maybe another year.
Also, to be talking about it that way. Why is he telling everyone?
Yeah. I'm also like, did you? I don't believe you.
I know. You're just trying to tell people you're rich. Like, is it just like a proxy for being like, I have 6 figures to spend on my dying dog?
Yeah.
Also,
like,
once again,
6 figures in debt?
Why are you here? Like, if you care so much, why are you here?
I can't hear about Rambo anymore. And I grew up with dogs my entire life. I love dogs. My mom would 100% spend that on a dog if she knew it was going to like save his life and make his life better and know that he's going to live longer. But not for like, well, he might be able to. No one's flushing $100,000 down the drain with a maybe. Also, $100,000 is the least amount it could have been for 6 figures, right? I'm just like, this is unbelievable. I like all of my dogs I've had throughout my life. I've probably had 25 dogs. So we always had at least 4 in our house growing up.
God.
My dogs have had ACL surgeries, like heart surgeries.
Do your dogs also play professional sports?
First of all, when my dog tore his ACL, well, I have 2 dogs that tore their ACL.
Non-contact injury?
My first dog that tore its ACL, the vet said it's not a candidate for surgery. I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean for a dog to not be a candidate for ACL surgery? The second one was able to get it. None of those surgeries have ever been 6 figures.
I mean,
I've just never heard of it.
This is a lot of information that I don't know how to process, having never had a relationship with a dog. But I
don't believe it. That's the bottom line here.
Okay. I can get on board with that. I definitely think he's just trying to tell people he's rich. And I can recommend many other ways for him to telegraph that. One would be by being more confident and just like acting cooler. He also,
like, hasn't he proven that he's lied? So I'm just like, you're just a liar, I think.
And no one liked him. So like, I just don't know why Kate goes. Like, I guess like they get bored, so they end up playing games.
I did like that Logan was like, essentially Logan can't be that dumb, because in his head he was like, shit, well, she goes on a date, there's a good chance it could go really bad with Hayden. So if this is the guy she's gonna go on a date with, good for me. Good luck.
I know, but I guess like I don't really know how you should handle this when you're coupled up with someone, because it's sort of like a lose for everyone. Like you either get too comfortable, or I don't know, like what's the best way to handle it?
Rodney told her, listen, like I really like you. I don't want you to go. But if this is something that you want to do, I'm not going to like I'm not forcing you to, like, you're grown up. You can make your own decisions. I would like, you don't want to force anyone to do anything, right?
Yeah, of course you don't want to force anyone to do anything. But I also like, even though I think she was overreacting, I could also see being like kind of upset by that response, where like he was playing it cool.
No. This is
I don't think she was in the right. As I said to you, I wanted to make it clear. He did say, don't go. I don't want you to go. But his all the caveating, I think like I could see where you could take that the wrong way. But I agree with you. Ultimately, he got to the right place and she just like wasn't hearing it.
I think he was just trying to be like as
cool,
diplomatic as possible. Yeah, like he's like, I don't want you to go, but I can understand if you want to go. Like, I don't want to force you to do anything. The only thing he might have been able to add, because I was thinking, like, what else could he have said? Is like, it's really going to hurt my feelings if you go. But that's manipulative a little bit.
Or like, I'll be really sad, or I'm going to miss you, or something.
I'm going to miss you. I'm okay with that. I just think that we are all, including Eliza, including Kate, including both of us, because like, yeah, I would love for a guy to be like, do not go. Please don't go. I like you so much. That sounds great, right?
I know,
everybody wants to hear that, but is that just because we're conditioned to want that energy? Because it's not great. Rodney had the right energy.
I think also
we don't want choices. We do not want choices. We want someone telling us what to do and how much they like us.
It's true. That sounds great. That does sound really nice. Dare to dream. One thing about Kate and Hayden, they never like come back from the date unless I'm mistaken. But
oh wait, yeah. Remember you texted me that and I was like, don't they come back at the end or no?
No, they don't. They do not come back at the end. The twins and Shanae and Flo come back, but Kate and Hayden, we never see Logan and Kate talk again. Like we never see any like second half of their date. That's it. It's really weird.
She came back, and maybe I'm confusing this with Shanae and the other girl. What's her name? Flo.
Florence.
Can't remember her or
the Australian
guy.
Yeah, I don't know either. We were calling him Matt, but that's not his name. His name is like David or like Hank, or I don't know. It's not Matt.
Hank does not seem correct.
No, it's not. No, they don't come back. We just don't. They don't come back.
So there's a scene where someone comes back and they're like, Eliza's on the date with Justin.
Yeah, that was Victoria and Johnny from the Sweat Lodge date. And Victoria's like, no.
Oh, you're right.
Really?
You're right. You are correct.
Johnny is a 0. I'm sorry. What is she seems fun. And like when she asked for what's your intention, and he was like, yeah, that sounds good. Like that's a pass for me.
I was watching that and I was like, I think a lot of people would struggle in that situation.
I guess, but like, don't you know that's coming?
Yeah, I'm sure he was fucking sweating. Besides it actually being a sweat lodge.
Yet. They weren't inside it yet.
He was probably like hating that this is what they were going to go do. My husband would hate that. Not only would he hate it, but then to do it on camera, I can't imagine us sitting crisscross applesauce being like, what is your intention with her? After knowing for a week and him having to be like, my intention is to love her and hope that we get to a common place and blah. Like, that's just not happening. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Obviously, Victoria would like someone, I guess, even though what he gave, I guess, was enough for her. So she's fine with it. But I felt bad for him because I'm like, a lot of guys would not do amazing in that situation.
Yeah, I guess.
The problem is he can't do it in private either. He's not doing it ever.
Yeah, he just is like, One of the other major themes from this week is all the guys just wanting to hang out with each other, which is, I feel, so true to life. I just can't even, like, I did relate to Genevieve in that moment where I feel like guys just get so focused on like doing stuff together, like, like sharks and minnows and like whatever, and like wanting to just like play with each other. And it is super annoying. I will say that. I felt for her. But these guys do seem to really like each other. Like everyone seems the most upset about like having to choose between Rodney and Justin. That's like the biggest drama on the beach.
Well, I thought that Justin and Rodney, like, I liked what Justin did. Like, I liked their conversation. Like, he's like,
yeah, I thought so.
I love, like, I like you. I want us to like have respect for each other. We just like happen to like the same girl who's amazing.
Perfect. Yeah. She's awesome.
And I feel
Makes
like
sense.
because
She is
she's
awesome.
so great, it made it easy for Rodney to be like, yeah, I get it. Like,
yeah.
It's understandable.
You're not wrong, man. Good pick by you. This episode is brought to you by Visible. Maybe you've already let your New Year's resolution slip. We all have, but you can still make a 2 year's resolution with Visible. Right now, you can get a one-line wireless plan from Visible for just $20 per month for 24 months. 24 months is basically 4 Bachelor seasons. That could be 4 engagements, 4 broken engagements, so many other couples we didn't see coming. It's really an eternity in Bachelor Nation. And that's unlimited 5G data powered by Verizon with no annual contracts. Switch now at Visible.com and use the code VISIBLE24. Don't miss out. Offer ends January 31st. New members only. Promotional rate with service on the Visible plan. For additional terms and network management practices, see Visible.com. This episode is brought to you by eBay Authenticity Guarantee. eBay knows that when it comes to jewelry, authenticity is the real gem. When you see the blue check mark that says Authenticity Guarantee, it means your next piece will be carefully inspired by jewelry experts and will always be worth its weight in gold. Whether you're looking to make a statement or build the perfect everyday look, eBay is making sure you get the real deal. With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, you can trust that jaw-dropping piece will always arrive jaw-droppingly real. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need. Have coverage options to protect the things you value most. File a claim right on the State Farm mobile app and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So many other things we haven't even hit yet. Just a quick detour back to the beginning of the episode. Jacob and Shanae brushing each other's teeth. That was so gross. And like, absolutely no thank you on that one either.
Unneeded.
What's Jacob still doing here? How did that even happen? I can't believe it.
I don't know, but I feel like Shanae she can do some. Well, obviously we're wrapping it up, so she's not going to get another partner, so they're just going to like leave together probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wouldn't say
it was weird.
Overall win for Shanae and her reputation. Overall loss for her in finding a partner.
Yeah, I feel like the good and the bad of Shanae has come out, and it seems like she's like a really fun hang, but seems like might be a little bit hard to date. But she'll find her person. She's fine. She'll be okay. Another person who just sort of like disappeared after Victoria and Johnny came back, and it was clear Victoria was choosing Johnny. Alex, just like still on the beach. In some background and some shots, but like not that much going on with him.
I mean, we didn't see a lot of people. Like we barely saw Andrew. We barely saw Serena and Brandon. Like they kind of just like focused on 6 people this week, it seemed like, or probably 8 total. Are you picking Johnny over Alex?
Me personally?
You personally / can you understand why she did?
No. I'm just like, does Johnny have more than like 50 words in his vocabulary? Like, what is his deal? They both kind of
confusing.
I don't find Alex's personality appealing at all, though. Like I find his personality to be very, just like
bland.
Yeah, and like the way he was talking about, like, well, I don't believe in them. It's just numbers. Well, he clearly was only saying that for the cameras, but like I understand why he doesn't have a girlfriend. He's bland and boring.
I do think he's a nice guy. That's what I can say.
Sure,
but Alex
and he seems like
also
more mature.
Alex
has
seems
been
like
on
a
so
nice
many
guy.
shows.
Not attractive to me.
International ones. Like I think he's been on Bachelor in Paradise Canada and Australia. So he's just like bouncing from paradise to paradise.
The only thing that I can give Victoria is logistically, she's probably like this, let's go with Johnny.
Yeah, it's not going to work out.
Yeah. But I'm like, Alex is good looking. He's more mature. He seems to be able to answer all these questions. Good conversation. He ticks all her boxes, which also I'm like, so in 3 days, all of a sudden, Johnny ticks all your boxes, Victoria. And then he was like, I do. And then she was like, yeah, you're so cute. And I was like, that's the box? Is that the only box that needs to be ticked?
I will say he does seem really into her. Like he seems like he gets like a little in his own way. He gets like a little giddy. He gets excited. Yeah. He is really into her.
He does a little like baby talk thing sometimes.
Yeah. To the point we were making earlier, she gets like the validation and like affirmation from him that Kate and Eliza were looking for. So I guess I understand it in that way. But no, for myself, I'm not picking Johnny ever.
I don't think it's like a bad pick. It's not like she's picking Hayden. I'm just like, interesting. I don't know anyone that would have picked that.
I guess I feel a little bad for him knowing that. Spoiler alert. She's now with Greg. So he seemed really into her. And that wasn't that long ago. I can't wait to get all the deets on Victoria and Greg. I just I need them to come on a podcast.
Yeah, me too. Oh my God, that would be my world. I don't really understand how Johnny a month ago was not ready to get married and then goes on the show and is like now ready. So that's like a little confusing to me.
Well, I think these people just like their brains get warped by being in this environment. But I think also maybe he's just really into Victoria. And at the risk of being crude and going against what I said about myself at the beginning of the episode, I would like to know like who's having sex. Like they make it seem like everyone's just like hanging out and it's like very PG. And I'm just like, is there like what happens if the boom boom room is occupied? Like do Brandon and Serene get it every night because they're like the most established couple? Like what like how is this
show
working?
That?
I don't know. Is nobody having sex? That would be really weird to me.
I don't know.
I mean, Danielle and Michael, they're not having sex. Brandon and Serene, they must be. They're basically married. I don't know. I just think it's weird. There has to be more going on that they don't show us and they make it very PG. Don't you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's weird that they wouldn't show us.
All we got was Jared and Ashley trying to have sex and then falling asleep.
Also, we got Shanae wanting to, but
yeah, and that's
got blocked by Jill.
I forgot about Jill. Hope she's having a great week, not having to watch herself on television.
She tweeted in like a smiley face person and was like, how excited I am to watch this episode without worrying about saying you're doing something stupid.
I get that. I definitely get that. We must discuss Genevieve. First of all, have you noticed her nails yet after I mentioned it?
Nope.
So it's no impact on you. Okay.
Zero impact.
Well, first of all, I was really high on Aaron at the beginning of the week. Through most of episode 2 until like the last hour or so. I was just really high. And then I was like, oh, my Aaron stock's falling a little bit, losing some value. But you keep calling him a bro, which he is. But I do feel like he has like some real emotion there. And he was alluding to like things being bad in his life. Like, I don't know. I just think he's like, do you like him anymore? Because I think he's pretty like more than you did before. Because I find him lovable.
You still do after this episode?
Not as much. But I do think that he was acting out of emotion. And I also think that Genevieve seems really, really irritating.
I agree. I think I would also be irritated if I was Aaron. I think overall, I like him more. He's still a bro, though. Like the way he talks annoys me. But I don't think he's wrong with what he's saying. Does that make sense?
Yes. And also his emphasis on the guys and like wanting to just like hang out with the guys would also be very annoying to me.
Would not annoy me at all.
That's because you're just like cooler, Callie. Okay. Like you can
I just like you're on a beach for weeks and you are going to like, there's just no way that him and Genevieve spend zero time together. They spend time together. I can completely understand him being like, I think it's okay for me to go hang out with my friends too.
Yes.
Like, even if I
agree.
go a whole day, but we spend an hour or two together, that's okay. Cause I'm going to be with you all day tomorrow. Like, I just don't really understand what the problem is.
Probably because she's comparing herself to other people. Like, I'm sure like Brandon and Serene spend a lot more time together and Danielle and Michael are like always together. Yeah. So she's comparing it to other people.
Yeah, I get that. I guess I'm just like, I think what Aaron's doing probably healthier. I also, it's like, that's how it would be in the real world. You're not going to be up under someone 24/7. But I also think if she felt that way, how about talking to him when you're one-on-one or tell him, can we go talk?
Right.
I thought it was really weird that she like sat up and started talking
I know, like
in front of everyone.
The edge of the cuddle puddle.
Yeah. And also everyone was kind of just like, what's happening? And then they like slowly just got up and left because they were like, I think we should leave them alone. Like that part of it would have annoyed me. And I think it annoyed Aaron too. I really didn't like his gaslighting comment, but
no, it's not gaslighting.
No. Also, he said that's literally the definition of gaslighting. And I was like, no, it's not. And also people just throw that word around. So I'm like, please stop. Please stop.
I know.
Outside of that,
I found that annoying as well.
I wasn't mad at him and I laughed when he paused and then said, yeah. And she was like, why did you pause? And he was like, because I was trying to consider whether I wanted to do that or not. I just thought that was really funny. He's not wrong. Like, you don't have to do everything around like what one person wants to do. But I'm just like, come on, guy. Like,
that was pretty, it was mean.
Really yeah.
He knew she was going to respond that way.
100%. It was very funny to me, but like, come on. You know what you're doing.
I liked how Victoria talked to her when they were behind the door. And Victoria's like, bitch, you were going to tell him you love him. You're going to leave? Like, how about trying to talk to him?
Yeah.
Great advice, Victoria.
I like Victoria in general. I thought it was weird how they edited it because it seemed like Eliza and Victoria were the ones that were like getting her back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it cut to Serene being like, Genevieve's one of my closest friends here. I'm like, is she? Because you weren't there trying to help her. Where were you?
She was off with Brandon doing the things that Genevieve wants to be doing with Aaron. I also feel like he only said, like, I'm also falling in love with you, like, for the cameras and to get her to stay. Like, I don't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, also, I think you have to say in that conversation, in that situation.
Is she really falling in love with him after he treated her that way and, like, talked to her that way? Because I also, even though I find her grating, I understand why she would be upset and, like, how she would not feel appreciated. So I'm like, are you falling in love with him?
I don't know. I'd also be really embarrassed that I pitched this whole fit, packed all my stuff up to leave, and then just came back.
And then didn't leave.
I would have been the person to stick with it, even if I wanted to stay and been like, I've just taken this too far, so I gotta go. I actually want to still be with you.
She packed really quickly.
Would love for you to come with me, but I can't go back. I've gone too far down this road.
The van even came. Like, they were ready to take her away.
I'm at the steps. I'm curious to know in real time how long that was. Like, was she packing for an hour? Did this whole thing take an hour and a half? Because if that was the case, I'd really have to go. If it took Aaron an hour and a half to 2 hours to figure out that I was about to leave, I'm out of there.
I totally lost track of time this week because, like, when Kate didn't come back and, like, we didn't have more night, I was just like,
that's all you could think about.
It? Where I was like, well, they went at it on that was like a day. When did things didn't they come back? Was that date at the same time as with the twins? Like, totally lost track of time.
It must have been super far away.
And like, how many days? Yeah, it must have been because they were like on the water and they had to like go to the jungle. But like, how many days went by since the last episode? Like, it was just really confusing. Also, I think Jesse said in Monday night's episode that this was their third rose ceremony or something like that. And like, there just haven't been a lot of rose ceremonies.
Yeah, it's
so
weird.
It's very, very hard to keep track of time. They do that intentionally, obviously, but it just gets confusing for the viewer. Episodes 10 and 11.
10 and 11. What is happening with the rose ceremony? I think that's something that a bunch of people have pointed out. There's usually a rose ceremony every week. Also, girls have had the roses the past 2 weeks and they're going to have it again because there's so many guys. And I'm like, did they run out of women? Because why is there so many? There's way more guys than women.
That's why they're hanging out together because they're like, there's just more of them. So it's like a bro fest.
Yeah.
One of my favorite couples, by the way, just like who's like just part of the scenery, but no drama, Brittany and Tyler. I'm just like, what do you guys talk about? They both seem well liked and like sweet people. I'm just like, what could you possibly have to say to each other?
I need to go look at Bachelor data and see what the screen time was, but they've got to be bottom of the barrel.
So low. I mean,
Jasenia has to be low too.
Yeah. And Andrew. Those are probably the bottom four.
Andrew had a few lines. I don't remember.
Yeah, because he's funny.
I don't remember seeing the other people.
Me neither. I mean, Jasenia's barely on the show, which sucks for her, but I mean, better than last time. At least she's not like getting embarrassed.
When they announced that Sarah was leaving, I was like, wait, who's Sarah? It took me
too.
It took me like 5 seconds to remember. Obviously, I feel so bad for her because it seems like whatever happened was super serious.
Her grandmother passed away.
Ugh, yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I would have gone home too, which makes me like her more.
Yeah, I'm glad she left, and I hope they're all doing okay.
Because Hayden's still there.
Well, who even knows how much money she spent on her grandmother?
Oh my gosh, that is such a weird thing to talk about.
Then the twins came in. Everyone was really focused on their age. I mean, are they that young?
23.
It's not that young. Plenty of these people are 24,
like
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I think that the age became more of a topic because they picked the two eldest women in the group to go on a date. And first of all, we texted about this. There couldn't be a worse date for me.
I think definitely for you because you're so germophobic, but for most people, so disgusting. A shot out of the belly button is fucking gross. I don't even like my own belly button. Also, so disgusting.
These people aren't showering a lot. I just don't believe that they are. No. Gross. Gross. So many gross things. There were so many times where I closed my eyes.
The beans rolling around in a human amount of beans. So gross.
To make a burrito. Ugh. It was just so gross.
And it was so disgusting. They didn't even have them do it twice. Only one of them did it. So gross.
We didn't even talk about licking an armpit. There were so many things that were so gross.
Did they show the egg thing because I don't recall that. They just only talked about it at the end.
Yeah, I saw them clenching at one point, but I didn't know what's going on. Also, the armpit lick, I can't remember if he had hair or not, but that adds another layer of disgustingness for me.
Gross.
And somehow, all four
they had a great time. I guess they just know how to find the people to go on the show. Everything about it was so, so gross.
I also believe them. I really think they had a good time.
Yeah, I think so too. Shanae seemed like she was just loving it.
It is weird that I also, again, believe Shanae, and I think she is 100% in on Twin One.
I think she's just looking for love, and she'll take it wherever she can, which, many people feel that way. So it's okay. Yeah. Right? We can't falter.
Yeah, I don't know.
So looking ahead to next week, what do you think happens that leaves everyone crying? Namely, Brandon and Serene.
It seemed like a lot of people were crying.
There was a lot of tears, yes. A lot. And Devon, our producer, thinks perhaps Rodney's going to just self-exit.
I can see that.
Callie called that one, if true. That would be really sad.
I definitely see that. I don't know if I would cry that much. There was a lot of crying.
They're not in their right mind. They have been warped by paradise. So just remember, you got to keep that in mind.
Also, a lot of alcohol.
A lot of alcohol, just deprivation from the real world.
I might cry if Rodney left in tears. That would really hurt me if I was on the beach.
Has anyone ever been this beloved in paradise before, or on The Bachelor in general? He has. He's so loved. It's kind of wild.
Loved.
I don't really.
He's loved.
It's great, but
so much that Andrew was willing to turn on one of his three amigos. That's a big deal.
I know. It's so not even up for debate.
So loved that Justin was I want to go talk to him. I want to go. Most of the people on the beach also like Justin, minus Genevieve, who literally could not stop talking about him. And I thought it was really funny when Aaron was this is me going off topic for a second, but when Aaron was you're making it seem like you're only with me because he messed up. And she was yeah.
I know.
And he was what? And she was no, wait, what? I was yeah, that's what you're saying, Genevieve. It was so good. I also didn't like that he kept saying, you're not giving me my success. And I was success is a weird word. You're trying to say you're not liking me because of me. It seems like you like me because I'm convenient because he messed up.
Right.
But he kept saying you're not giving me my successes. And I was what success? You're just being yourself.
He's not the most articulate. Justin and Aaron were watching last night's episode or watching the Monday episode together. So take that for what you will. I don't know what that means. But all these people just, yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's what makes me think Rodney's another level because so many people like Justin And for everyone to
I
still be
know.
like, I just really don't want to see Rodney hurt. I'm like, they don't give a fuck about Justin. They like Rodney so much. Like,
They'll do anything for him.
I did like Brandon's little pep talk to Rodney. I did appreciate that.
I also just think that like Justin gets it too, as you said before. Like he understands.
Yeah, but he's not scared. I think Justin's personality came out so much more with his conversation with Eliza. It's flowed so naturally. He really shined to me this episode. I was like, that is the Justin.
Yeah. The Justin we
I
were
know
hoping
and
for.
I love. Yeah. Wait.
That's the guy we've been waiting to show up on the beach. Yes.
The women's mess.
Oh my God. Disgusting. I think I blocked that out because it's so gross.
I'd have to self-exit.
I would have to be like, please take me back to the Vedanta. Looked much better. Much better. So gross.
I'd have to have sex with someone and be in the boom boom room. Every night.
Or just
whoever's open.
The bossest move would commandeer it for yourself. And just be like, I'm sleeping in here by myself. Don't discriminate against a one.
I can't.
So gross.
Like, ugh. So disgusting.
I know.
Also, even more disgusting that it's the women and not the men.
And just like thinking about them crouched around like one dirty makeup table sounds horrible. Really gross. Well, we got 3 episodes of the show left and then a 2-week finale. Or 2 episodes finale. So next week, there's only 1 episode on Monday. So this pod will be coming out on Monday night. Keep an eye out for it. Thanks to Devon, Manze and Jade Whaley for producing this episode. We'll be back. Yes, Callie.
Also, Paradise Reunion films this Friday.
Oh, shit. Nice. Can't wait to hear about that. Get some scoop. All right. We'll be back soon. Have a great week.